There is nothing more holy to an enthusiast than getting to experience the thrill of a brand new park. Tasty new credits, a new foreign atmosphere, and the thrill of the unknown. It's an oasis of limitless possibilities. Will I find a new favorite coaster? Or bask in the ambiance of wondrous theming? Perhaps take in a new coaster model or break a new height record? The sky's the limits. I felt these and so many more feelings as I pulled into the parking lot of Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, where there were 8 brand new credits for me to imbibe. But where do they line up with each other and in my own personal rankings? Let's find out today as we rank all of Discovery Kingdom's coasters and where they fall on my overall rankings. Quick note before we begin, I do not rank all of my coasters as I've been on over 250 of them, and I feel like anything over 100 is a moot point. So if a coaster didn't break the top 100 for me, you won't see it get a ranking in this list, unless it somehow topped my 20 worst. So with that out of the way, let's dive in. Number 8. It should be no surprise to anyone that follows my channel of my supreme dislike of SLCs. And for me, Kong is one of the absolute worst, right up there with Flight Deck, and for once it has nothing to do with the restraints. This ride has one of the most decrepit lift hills I think I've ever experienced. It's slow, it's janky, it feels as if it could fall apart at any moment. Not a great feeling you want when conquering those big thrills. The restraints also suck, but I didn't even notice their uncomfortableness when I was too busy just wishing for this ride to be over.
Just be like burned down to the ground. I want to fucking watch it.
The only positives I really have for it is that it had 2 nice little overbank turns, but other than that, I live for the day when I finished getting SLC credits. This is the only coaster on this list to make my 20 worst coasters list at number 15, joining its brother in T3 and Flight Deck. Number 7. There isn't really much to say about these Vakama Boomerangs that hasn't been said about every single one of them you've come across in every park around the world. Some are tolerable, few are good, most are ass. This one fell into the tolerable category, which is probably the best it could hope for. It didn't beat you up, but there isn't much thrill in these coasters since the turn of the century when all manner of new coaster models took the world by storm, leaving these models as relics of a bygone day. Number 6. It says something about the last 2 coasters that a ride a third of its size, with little more than a few pops of lateral thrills, managed to rank higher. But such was the sad state of affairs for Vekoma in the 90s. Though it seems a reinvention has been going on for them in Europe these past few years, and it'll be interesting to see if any come stateside. Cobra, however, is a standard kiddie ride that is a one and done credit, but a fun enough ride to thrill young kids looking to take their first steps into the coaster game. Number 5. The Prototype Skyrocket 2 from Premier Rides. This is a fun launch coaster with some nice hang time on the Heartline roll and a solid drop immediately afterwards. Though the shortness of this ride and the uninspired elements keep it from having any kind of re-rideability, at least for me. I also feel like a standard loop would have been more suitable than the non-inverting loop, giving one last pop of hang time before hitting the station, but again, that's just me. The restraints also help make this ride much more enjoyable than its counterparts I've ridden in Tempesto and Electric Eel, as the lap bar really lets you feel that hang time, which is the most thrilling part of these models to begin with. Number 4. Batman the Ride is a 4D free spin model from SNS Worldwide, and I have a soft spot for these models as my girlfriend loves them, and I'd love to experience them with her and seeing the smile they put on her face. Beyond that, though, there isn't really much to these coasters other than the thrill of spinning. However, there are a few thrills to be had, as these spinning coasters have some insane moments of hang time when you get caught upside down for multiple seconds on certain rotations. But again, besides that, the duration of these rides hurt its standing amongst its more epic and longer coasters in the park. Number 3. The Flash, an impulse coaster built by Intamin. I have another soft spot for these coaster models, as I like their uniqueness and the thrill of staring straight down those vertical spikes from the front row. Though a common theme in this park is ride duration, and this coaster finds itself as guilty as its counterparts in the park. Though a uniquely tilted spike helps put this coaster above its brethren, as the hang time in the middle rows on that spike is out of this world. Couple that with the epic views from the front row on that back spike, and that is more than enough to give this coaster the bronze. And it just barely makes the top 100, sitting at number 90, just one spot ahead of its brother, Wicked Twister. Number 2, the B&M floorless coaster, Medusa. I was expecting big things from this coaster, as it was one of my most anticipated on the trip, and it didn't disappoint. The inversions are large, the transitions are smooth, and that sea serpent roll was stupid fun. I love unique inversions, and it's amazing how something so simple as switching one of the inversions on the Cobra roll could heighten the thrills. The layout is super similar to Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. However, this coaster doesn't have the epic underground elements nor the spectacular lake setting. It's simply a parking lot coaster, which is a bit disappointing. Overall, this was able to break my top 100, sitting at number 52, and manages to take the bronze on my favorite floorless coasters behind the aforementioned Kraken and Bizarro. Numero uno. Was there any other choice? I've yet to go to a park with an RMC and not have that coaster be the best in the park, and that streak continues with the Joker. Built from the remains of Roar, the Joker manages to pack in a lot with its relatively small footprint. While lacking the height of Steel Vengeance and the speed of Lightning Rod, the Joker makes its mark by having epic close encounters as the track weaves in and around itself through pulse-pounding airtime hills and overbank turns, and one of the dopest stalls I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing. This coaster is fun with a capital F, with an excellent twisting first drop that practically drags you down if you're in the back row. RMCs were built for us in the back row crew, and elements like the double down and twisted airtime hills prove that back row is the only row, and easily takes the first place spot at the park. Overall, this ride easily breaks my top 20, sitting pretty at number 17, though in terms of just RMCs I've ridden, it rides dead last. But that just proves how incredible RMC are, that even their last place coaster is better than 85% of the competition. And that's our list. It's a solid park with two standout coasters that are world class and a mediocre supporting crew rounding them out, with really only one coaster nabbing that dreadful title. I would love to see a big coaster come to this park, like a B&M Hyper or an Intamin multi-launch, or even a new Woody to replace the now defunct Roar. I think a modern GCI or Gravity Group would work wonders here, and I know the perfect ride to get rid of to make room for it.
Just be like burned down to the ground. I want to fucking watch it.
Burn it. We'll be there.
Guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Sound off in the comments. I want to know your rankings if you've been to this park and what coaster you think would be a great fit here. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all your amusement park and movie needs. And until next time, adventure on.